Hey everybody, my name is Rachel and this video post is for discussion 1 of week 1. So the first section that I'm going to talk about are the filters that I have in place in my life. So the first filter are my values. So a few things that I value in my life are my family, my faith, and other relationships such as my friendships. I also value my health, which is why I really strive to take care of myself and eat right and exercise and just do everything that I can to maintain good health. I also value my skills and my gifts as a health coach and portraying myself to others with love, compassion, and integrity. The second filter are my beliefs. So I am a strong Christian and I believe that we all have a purpose here on this earth, and I feel like God has placed me here and given me the passion for helping people discover health and healing. I also have the gifts to develop relationships and connect with other people on a deeper level. So because of my strong belief in God, I really strive to serve Him in the gifts that I've been given and glorify Him with the work I do as a health coach. Attitudes is the next filter, and with this, I really strive to be positive in every aspect and every situation of life. I certainly have not mastered this at all, but I really do strive to make this a priority in my life to be positive, and my goal is really to impact the lives of others around me through my attitude and spread my love and positivity to them as well. The next filter are my expectations. So I tend to set pretty high expectations for myself in my career, and when I'm given a task, I really strive to do the best job I can possibly do. So this can be a good thing, but it also can be a negative thing because I tend to be a perfectionist at times, and so when I don't reach my expectations and I don't do as well as I was hoping, I tend to get really down on myself and be really discouraged, and it can create a lot of stress in my life. The next filter are my intentions. So my intentions are really to help other people and to take the focus off myself and really strive to understand others and what their needs and goals truly are, just to really make a difference in their lives. A quote from Julianne Treasure is, these filters really can create a reality for us because they tell us what we're paying attention to right now, which I really do think is true. All of these filters that I just mentioned to you about myself are things that I really value and I place above in my life with high importance, and there's something I think about a lot and I really base a lot of my decisions off of, and they're really what drives me in my life. So another thing that I want to talk about is how technology has really kind of taken over in this world and in our culture. I believe listening and developing relationships is a lost art, unfortunately. Although technology can be very beneficial and useful, it has also taken away from the personal aspect of relationships. Again, another quote from Julianne Treasure is, conversation is being replaced by personal broadcasting or technology, such as texting. I can relate to this since texting is a form of communication that I use with my friends and family members, but I do think it does take away from that personal aspect of a relationship, and it really has kind of started to control our lives in a way. Another quote from Julianne Treasure is, it is tragic to lose our listening skills because listening creates understanding, which I really do believe is very true. So the next question I'm going to answer is, what do good coaches do to protect deep, active listening when people want sound bites and bottom lining? So for coaches to protect and engage in deep, active listening, there needs to be a balance between talking and listening. These points come from the TED Talk by Celeste Headley. It is so important to be present in the moment and to eliminate any distractions, such as texting, like I was just talking about, or any other devices that we might be using on a daily basis. So also approach every conversation with an open mind and have vulnerability. It can be especially easy for health coaches to take on that authoritative approach with their clients, but it's so important for us as coaches to really set aside our opinions and look at the conversation as an opportunity to learn something new, because we can always learn something new from the other person. Open-ended questions is also very crucial. Yes or no answers are so surface level, so if we're just asking questions that require those yes or no answers, we're just maintaining a surface level relationship and we're not really digging deep and really getting to the root problem. So by asking these questions, it requires elaborate answers. So open-ended questions will really keep the coach engaged in active listening skills and will allow the client to dig deeper and to discover solutions to their own problems. It's also important for coaches to be brief and take a true interest in other people by showing compassion and sympathy when other people share their experiences instead of constantly comparing their experiences with our experiences. I'm actually guilty of doing this myself. Just thinking back, not too long ago, I had a situation where I was talking to a client and they were sharing an experience that they recently had, and it brought up a similar experience in my own life, which I then shared with them. And I remember thinking at the time it was a good idea, but now I wish I hadn't have done that, because I really want to always try to focus on my clients, and it's so important, especially in a coach-client relationship, to never try to compare our experiences with theirs, because it's truly about the client. It's not about ourselves. And every experience is different, and we must not try to compare each other's experience, because, they have a different experience and a different perspective, and it can really just take the focus off them, and it can really cause kind of tension in the relationship. So some other tools for coaches to maintain their active listening skills is just really spending time in silence. We live in such a noisy world with so much commotion and chaos around us that we don't often take time to sit in silence and basically listen to nothing. But this will really help us to remain present and focused in the here and now. It's also good to be aware of other hidden sounds around us and distinguish those sounds, even though that sounds kind of silly, but at the same time it will really help us develop those active listening skills, sharpen our listening skills, and this will really come in handy when we're having conversations with other people. The next question I want to address is, how do you listen to someone who is dogmatic or bombarding you with facts? So it is very difficult to listen to a person who's very opinionated and who bombards you with facts that they are very passionate and persistent with. But as I mentioned before, it is important to go into every conversation with the mindset that we can learn something new from everyone and anyone we come across. And by putting our own opinions aside and by allowing that person to express themselves, it will really help us to connect with them on a deeper level and understand them better. Even if we don't necessarily agree with their opinions, we must still show that respect by listening to them. Again, asking open-ended questions can really be a great tool to use in this situation in order to dig deeper and try to understand their perspective better. It is also important to acknowledge their emotions in a gentle way and rephrase their point they're trying to make. And hopefully this will make them appreciate your respect and attentiveness as they're talking, and they will hopefully be more open to understanding your opinion too. So the final point I'm going to talk about are the 4 foundations that Julian Treasure talks about, which are honesty, authenticity, integrity, love. So these 4 words form the word HAIL. So I'm going to kind of talk about each one individually. So the first one, honesty, is basically about being clear and concise in order to avoid any confusion in the conversation. This will really help develop that trust and a deeper connection with clients or anyone you come across. A stands for authenticity, so just being yourself and standing firm in your beliefs and convictions. People will truly appreciate your genuineness, even if it means you have to stand out and be different compared to other people. I stands for integrity, which really kind of ties in with honesty, but just being true to your word and developing that trust is really the main component that must be developed in a coach-client relationship, and that can only happen when a person is transparent and completely true to their word and maintaining that in the relationship. The final one is L, which stands for love, and this basically is about showing compassion to other people and really wishing them well. It's about having good intentions and really offering them help and support and putting their needs above your own. This will really show love to everyone around you. And also, Julian Treasure talks about RASA, which stands for receive, appreciate, summarize, and ask. So just kind of comparing this to health coaches and their relationship with clients. So for coaches, we have to receive the information our clients give to us in a loving and non-judgmental way. We must appreciate their opinions and experiences that they've had. We must also summarize the statements that they've made in order to have a complete understanding of where they're coming from and what they're really trying to get across. And if there's any confusion at all in the conversation, the coach must ask the client just to clarify so both of them can be on the same page. So that's all I have for now. Thanks for taking the time to watch, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.